Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Soul Lux Life podcast. I say that I'm super excited about every episode, but I really am because the people that come on here, they really mean a lot to me and they take time out of their day and they're so busy and they're professionals. He is a mortgage loan officer. He's located here in Alabama, and we're going to do a simple intro and we will be right back.
Welcome to the Soul Lux Life podcast, where our goal is to enhance the mental, physical, and spiritual luxuries in life. Make your life luxurious through knowledge, coaching, training, and technique. Visit us online at soulluxlife.com. Here's your host, Crispin J. Watson.
All right, we're back. So, hey, Justin, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Years ago, and we had both gone our separate ways, different endeavors in life. And I happened to get into real estate. He happened to get into doing mortgages, and then we kind of linked back up, and here we are now. So I'm excited for him to tell you guys about mortgages, answer all your questions that you have. So definitely leave your questions in the comments, and we will be more than happy to answer them to the best of our knowledge. So that being said, Justin, again, thank you for coming on. So just tell us a little bit about you, kind of where you grew up, how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so I'm an Alabama guy through and through. Started my way South Alabama and worked my way up. So I'm from Dothan, Alabama. Went to school and everything there. Graduated high school, community college for a little bit. Then I went to work my way up to Auburn. Was there for a little bit, and I've been here since 2016, living in the Hoover Pelham area. So that's kind of where I started and where I'm at, and now I stay in Pelham now. So I love Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. I like it too. It's growing on me a lot.
Yeah, and I like Birmingham a lot. There's parts of Alabama that trust me, but Birmingham has a little bit of everything for folks. You can be 20 minutes in the country and then 20 minutes you're in the city, so good airport, good interstates to get where you need to go. So
I've been finding some really good restaurants here in Birmingham lately.
True. Yeah.
Like some hidden gems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So you do mortgages, you do lending. So kind of what got you into wanting to be a loan officer first and foremost?
Yeah, well, I've always kind of been in finance industry since I've started my career. Like we were in, more of the subprime lending industry when we first started. And, those aspects of that job I really enjoyed. And I'll learn so much from it as well. But anyway, went to the banking world for a little bit, did some different operational stuff there. And, I was starting to realize that I was always wanting a raise. I was always wanting a promotion. I was always, regardless of how good you work or don't work, you got to kind of wait in line for your next opportunity. And
that may never come.
That may never come. Yeah, absolutely. So I couldn't settle for that. So kind of left the salary all behind and realized that mortgage was kind of an area that I knew enough. I knew lending, I knew finance. Obviously, mortgage is a crazy world in itself, so there was still a learning curve. But I felt like I had some intangible stuff to hopefully be successful at it. So I just really wanted to, be able to control my income, control my hours, control a lot more. But don't get me wrong, it's not all, great. I mean, sometimes there's, being your own, business owner, that doesn't mean, work your own hours mean you work 2 hours a day. That means sometimes you work more than 8 hours a day, work
Yeah,
weekends.
you work more hours for yourself than you do at a corporate job, because
Yeah.
at least at a corporate job, you can work those 8 hours, you know what to expect, and then
Mm,
you can go home and not think about it. Whereas if you work for yourself, it's 24/7 constant. Clients texting you
absolutely.
all throughout the night.
Yeah.
So,
I've never got a work text at, 2 a.m. and stuff like I do now. But on the flip side, you're a lot more motivated. When you're working for yourself, you're doing it. Whether regardless of what your why is, whether it's the commission or the people or just
hmm
for yourself, you're gonna be more motivated than working for an employer. So you work more hours, but the hours kind of blow by, and you don't always feel it. So
yeah. And it's such a joy seeing people get into their home, especially first time home buyers.
yeah.
And sometimes I know we've done some deals together, and they're like, "Thank y'all so much. I couldn't have
Mhm.
done it without you guys." And I don't think people know, like, how much that really plays an impact. Like
Mhm.
having a good loan officer, somebody that's going to actually walk you through the process instead of just going with a lender. Like, I'm not trying to slander any business, but like a Rocket Mortgage. Say, for instance, you get a
Mhm.
pre-approved through them online,
Right.
you're not going to be able to pick up the phone and just text them like you would a lender that's local. So
Right.
that's kind of one thing I try to push to my clients is you want a local lender, somebody that does, I wouldn't say you don't mind, but if they were to text you at 2
Mhm.
a.m.,
Exactly. You have that
the message
ability.
gets to you right.
Yeah. There's a time to, nothing's going to change at 2 a.m. I can't call the underwriter at 2 and we all just hop in your file. But at the same time, there's the comfortability to know that, I'm here, so whether it's 9 o'clock or whether it's, you want to see me whatever it is you need, um, you're
You're
talking,
accessible, like
yeah,
they can
exactly.
reach
So
you.
on my cell phone, text, call, email, I'm not just a email and you won't hear from me till 8 o'clock the next day. So,
I know. God forbid you contact on a holiday.
yeah, all the bank holidays went out the window after I left that. I already forgot. I don't even know when Memorial Day and all, just all the federal holidays. It's like that was one of
Yeah.
that's,
We have a
but
question.
yeah,
Someone
go
says,
ahead.
Yes, I'm looking into buying a home, but want to learn more about the process." So, on my end, we can briefly kind of go through the process. The first and the most important step of the process is getting pre-approved. So it's great that we have Justin on live right now, so he can answer those questions when it comes to getting pre-approved. So can you kind of walk them through the pre-approval process? I guess some things that they need to have handy when they're filling out the application, some things you guys look for, like what really plays a role into someone starting the process to buying a house.
Yeah. So, whether this is your fifth house or your first house, I'm gonna, make sure that you're not in the dark about anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna typically, I kind of had to have a drafted email that's gonna have every little thing, and it's not too much. It's pretty standard stuff that you borderline the same amount of stuff you would need for a car loan. Pay stubs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll typically need W-2s or 1099s or something. Your ID, just some fairly simple stuff. We don't need blood type or anything like that. So that information kind of gives me enough to see where we're at. So obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I'll send an application as well. That's all online. You'll complete it to the best of your ability. And then I'm going to, with your authorizations, pull your credit. And so that'll show me everything credit wise, your score, any defaults, any late
Mm-hmm.
stuff and good stuff too. So I kind of look at that. Credit's one piece, and then income's another piece, and then assets is the third piece. That's the three main pillars, with a lot that falls under it. But basically, um, so then I'll look at your income. Are you salary? Are you hourly? Are you 40 hours a week? Do you have overtime? Just kind of look at all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. See what.
Are you self-employed? Because that's a whole nother ball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, It definitely can. If you have a, hopefully you have a good accountant or do it well yourself to go to use, the tax documents. If we use your tax documents, we'll have to go off what's, whether it's your
Mm-hmm.
CPA or whatever. So, but I do have the ability to take what you do have. If you're like, hey, Justin, I don't know, I'm self-employed. Here's my tax stuff. What can I do? So,
Mm-hmm.
actually got a portal. I've been doing this a lot recently with self-employed people. Just send me everything you've got, returns for the last 2 years, and I submit it to a processor that literally what they do is they calculate income like they take the whole file and that's what they do all day for all tons of different files. So I submit it to them,
Mm-hmm.
have me an answer in 24 hours. So we'll know exactly what we're looking for. It's underwritten, approved. The income itself is, so we're not scared about. I hope it works. Once we get to underwriting, parts over
I
with.
promise I'm going through that right now as we speak. I'm
Yeah.
going through. I hope it
Um,
works with this income. It's a self-employed client, and it's been going on for a while. So you
yeah,
definitely you are self-employed. Have your ducks in a row. Make sure you're filing your taxes. Make sure you're
absolutely.
not showing that you're making $0. But I
Yeah,
get it. I get it. I
yeah,
mean, if you want to do that,
me
cool.
too.
If that works for you. But if you know that
Yeah,
you're thinking about purchasing a home in the next 2 years, start making sure that
yeah,
you're showing some income.
yeah. And I'll finish up the application part, and then don't let me forget about to come back to self-employment income real quick. So essentially, we'll take all that information, whatever it is, type of income, a few things we need, and then I'll figure out if you're pre-qualified or not. We'll look at DTI, which is your debt to income ratio, and just see where your limits at, where you're comfortable payment wise. We'll kind of there'll be a lot of estimates at that point, but um,
Mm-hmm.
you know then we'll kind of see what you're working with, and then I'll hand a pre-qualification or approval letter off to Crispin, and and then that's when you guys can go look at homes, and then you kind of have an idea of what to look for, because you don't want to go
Mm-hmm.
look at $500,000 houses if you're and it's no offense, it just is what it is. I mean, I don't go shop for Bugattis and Lambos because it just ain't gonna happen right now. So you have to just because those houses and those cars are always going to look better, of course. So it's good to just know where you're at first, get that budget in mind,
Mm-hmm.
and then go look at those houses, and then find what you can get.
Yeah, that kind of answers the next question. Someone said, so before contacting a realtor, the first step is talking with a lender first, correct? It can kind of go either hand, because if you speak with a realtor, we kind of have preferred lenders that we use, and we'll put you in contact with those people just depending on what your specific need is. But you can speak with a lender first, and then the lender can get you in contact with the realtor. So kind of whatever works. I've had clients to do both. They're already pre-approved, and they'll just come to me and say like, "Hey, I know I need to get pre-approved first." So it's completely up to you. Thank you for your question.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it works. I mean, lots of times we kind of work with folks at the same time. They're working with
Hmm.
you, kind of figuring out your needs and wants in a house and areas, and in the meantime, I'm figuring out what the budget is, and then hopefully all that, you know,
Hmm.
pretty, I can usually get a pre-qualification in if it's a 30 minutes to a day or so, just according
Hmm.
if you've got all your information, and as soon as I can look at stuff. So,
Yeah.
before I forget, to go back on that self-employment stuff, if
Hmm.
you are in a situation, you can't change what's happened the last 2 years, how you filed your taxes. So, but we do have bank statement loans. We've got, and we'll talk about products later, but I just wanted to let you know, don't lose hope if, you filed zero the last 2 years. We do have ways to still get a mortgage if you're,
Hmm.
any income on your taxes. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've even had a client to have to go back and amend their returns.
hmm
Um, so there are options. Someone said, "You're welcome. Thankful for the answers. I'm screen recording to make sure I have everything so I won't forget." Yeah. And just send us a DM, like send us a message, and we'll definitely reach out to you, and we can jump on a consultation together and kind of get the ball rolling and see what you need to do. Because a lot of people, they say, "Hey, I want to get, my ducks in a row first before I come." But some people, they don't realize that they're already ready. So it wouldn't hurt to have a lender to take a look at it and kind of see maybe what you need to work on, what you need to pay off. Because you've gotten me reports from my clients that got it down to like the cent, how much they needed to pay to help them get to a position to where they can get pre-approved. Mm-hmm. So definitely reach out to us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. My contact stuff's over here somewhere. Yeah. But I'll get it. We'll pass it.
We'll contact you.
Don't always work out right, but it's whatever.
Yeah, definitely. We have another question here. We're going to add this one to the screen. What's the process for construction loans for business?
Yeah, so we've got I know we're dabbling in long story short, if there's a mortgage out there that exists, I can find a wholesale lender that'll do it. So that's an easy answer. But as far as construction loan to business, so we've got business. I can do commercial loans. I can do construction loans, one-time close deals, all of that. So and those, I don't do those every day. So I'm not going to pretend that I know all the ins and outs with it. But what I can tell you is I can hop in a Zoom with someone at 8 o'clock in the morning and find out and shop a few different wholesale lenders and figure out who's got the best options. Typically, I'll have a higher down payment, so, rates are going to be different than a lot of things are going to be different in your, typical conventional loan, but a lot of things are going to be the same too. So it's really just according what the business is, if we're going to be using any proceeds or income from that business to go towards the loan. There's a whole lot of moving parts with it, but I don't want that to scare you off. We can definitely do it. I just it'll be good if we all got together with one of the wholesalers that do these every day and
that specifically do business.
They need a lot more business information than you would need on a typical mortgage, because they're going to want to know what you're putting there, what you're doing, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do they kind of want to see the business plan? Because I know some wholesale lenders, not wholesale lenders, hard money lenders, like if you're doing a flip or a project, they kind of want to see, the revenue that particular investment is going to make before they make the loan.
Yeah.
So that sounds kind of similar.
Yeah.
So, thank you for the question.
Absolutely.
Yes. So another question here. Do you all cover certain areas? I'm in Mississippi. I'm actually working on my Mississippi license right now. Justin, what are you doing?
I am not licensed in Mississippi. However, thing about Next is we've got I think we just hit 2,000
team members in all states, literally.
Yeah. So I personally can't do I still have to be licensed in the state that I'm working on. However, we have great referral partners that are loan officers just like me in their states that they're licensed in. So I kind of somewhat hand you off to someone, but I can still kind of help you out a little bit. But that loan officer will kind of, legally, technically, they're supposed to handle everything that I would. I definitely have someone, people that I can send to you that has the exact same products and service and all that stuff that I'm going to have. They're just going to be licensed in Mississippi. So.
Absolutely. And we work referrals all over the United States. So no matter what state you're in, I know realtors in pretty much every state, and I'm sure he has a team as well. So definitely reach out to us. We love referrals.
Yeah.
Even if you guys, you have family members moving to Alabama, have them to contact us.
For sure.
We have to plug the business.
Yeah. No, me and Kristen left the salary behind, so we're doing this for a lot of reasons, but
right.
It's a win-win. We help ourselves and help y'all. And great. It's great on both ends. So, but I can definitely get you set up with someone in Mississippi or any state, of that matter, except Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But we're working on that one.
Hmm.
They got
All right,
weird
Massachusetts.
there. But
It's different everywhere.
I know.
Even with getting a real estate license, it's different in every state. Like in Georgia, to get a reciprocal license, I just have to fill out paperwork, pay some dues, and boom, I'm licensed in Georgia. But with Mississippi, I'm having to go through a whole class and take a test and
Yeah, there's
do
speed
the
and everything. Yeah. So,
yeah.
but
Yeah, that's one of the things. We've answered a lot of the questions, but since we're here though, kind of what was the process to get licensed to become a loan officer if someone is thinking about going that route?
So if you're currently not a loan officer, but you're thinking maybe I want to be a loan officer, I would say before you even start studying, just to be honest with you, because I don't want, I would say give me a call and I'll tell you the ins and outs of it. I mean, just like any job, there's good, bad, and ugly. There's a whole lot of good, but there's some things that may just not be your style that you want to do from a day-to-day standpoint, or objections or something you may have to overcome. But let's assume you do want to be a loan officer, then you would so you just have to, it's similar to real estate. You have to take a 20-hour, for mortgage, it's a 20-hour course, a pre-course or something, and test. And then you sign up with the NMLS. It's just online basically, and you sign up for a day to go take the test in person at a testing facility. And there's a whole lot of different, and I can help you with kind of tell you some good study tips, or I don't really have tips. I just have software to help me. Whole lot of practice questions is all it boils down to. So that would be your course of action if you wanted to do that, and then we can always talk about how to get business and all that kind of stuff, because that's the other piece to it. You want to know mortgage, but you also if you don't bring in deals, then there's no money to be made. So
Yeah.
but that's part of it. Now if you so if you're already licensed, and maybe you're, happy where you're at, but open ears to maybe see another opportunity, or you want to look into maybe joining my team. So I'm in the process of growing my team to where you can, if you if you are a broker currently, or currently at a bank or an independent mortgage company somewhere else, I'd be happy to talk to you about those steps of coming over, and what all the products look like, compensation, support, all those things. We have everything, and very competitive in all we have. So I'm definitely be interested to speak to anyone that was interested. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because it may be for you. I mean, I like the freedom of what we do, not having to, ask, can we take off? We can pretty much work from anywhere. I was in Dallas this past weekend. I was working. I was on the phone putting out a fire with one of my deals. So definitely. Another question says, do you service the Carolinas?
Same with Mississippi. I don't. And as I see a need, I obviously I'll work on getting my license. License can
Sounds
get
like there's a need.
Yeah, I see that. License is kind of a not too bad of a process. I just kind of have to work on it, pay some dues and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something immediately, though, just like Mississippi, I can get you referred over to a loan officer that is working in the Carolinas or licensed in the Carolinas, and same process. Get you referred over. They'll take care of you. Same product, programs, all that stuff, and get you handled. So
Yeah, this is a realtor asking, so she may need you down the line,
yeah.
maybe.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and I guess when I say need, like it's one of those things, like I don't want to pay for 50 states and then
I only use one or two.
But yeah, no, as I started off in Alabama, and now I'm licensed in Georgia and Florida. So that's my license right now. So as I started building business in those areas, that's when it made sense to get my license there. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but definitely, I'm always open to if there's a need somewhere and someone wants to do some business, I can call an MLS in the morning.
Oh yes. So we'll definitely get you guys connected. That was someone else I used to work with actually. Now she's into real estate. See how people are moving from these
Yeah.
corporate jobs and kind of trickling into doing their own thing, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so back to the process. I know someone was asking earlier. So typically, how long does it take you guys to close on a loan? So once we get the home under contract, what's your standard time frame?
So since I've been at Nexa, I've had one close in 3 weeks, and they've all been under 30 days. So,
Ooh.
um, I'm not going to come here and promise a 3-week closing for every single file because every file is different. There's so many moving
Yeah.
parts, and so many hands in the pot with appraisers, inspections have to go flawlessly, appraisal goes flawlessly. The title company is working good and don't find any hiccups there. It's not all me and it's not all Crispin that can cause your, closing to be, and even that 3-week closing, that wasn't all me. I mean, that was, good realtor, good. I mean, yeah, I did my part, but my processor did their part, and the title company
Mm-hmm.
part. Appraisal went great. Actually, we didn't even need appraisal on that one. So there's just a lot of things that can happen to cause it to go really fast or fast because that's only 2 speeds we go. So 30 days or less for sure. And then if you have a bank statement loan or something like that, sometimes that can take more time. So, but still,
Mm-hmm.
30 days or less, for sure, regardless of what kind of file we got. So, but typical conventional FHA, VA, your standard like house, if you want to go buy a house, today, if you gave me a contract, I mean, we could close it in, I'd safe answer would say 4 weeks. So, uh,
Yeah.
you know,
And speaking of different loan types, kind of go through the different loan types just to see if someone, may have any questions. Because I know it's so new. Like if you've never bought a house before, I know all of this may sound so foreign to you. We're talking about USDA, FHA, conventional VA. So let's kind of go through all of these and kind of talk about what they mean.
yeah. Yeah, and sorry if I get nerdy and just start saying some acronyms and they're like, "What?"
What? Like
I mean,
USA.
I'm not trying to speak over anybody's head. I just it's when you're in it all day.
We're just so used to it,
Just
right? We
yeah,
think everybody talks the
yeah.
language, and
'Cause
then
when I
the
first came to
application itself.
mortgage, yeah, I mean, when I first came to mortgage, there's so many acronyms. It like took me months to just like memorize what everything meant. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, a lot of just there's so many to list, but then we list a bunch throughout this show. But a conventional loan. So for a first time home buyer, there's probably a few people in here. So first time home buyer, one of the best programs out there to do if you've got pretty solid credit and you can get approved for a conventional loan. Minimum down payment will be 3%. So that's less than the typical conventional, which is a minimum of 5. So you would need 3% down payment. And if you're a first time home buyer, we give you a first time home buyer class and you can have 2,500 plus dollars go towards your closing costs. So
Just for taking the class?
Just for taking a class. And to be honest with you, it's nothing you got to study for. This isn't, I promise it's literally just telling you what a mortgage is. It's, you're a first time home buyer. So they want to,
They're teaching you like the product.
teach you how does a mortgage work? How do you pay it? How does amortization, like all this stuff.
Is it an online class or is it
It's all
something
online. Yeah. And it's like an hour long. I mean, it's literally.
That's all?
Yeah, it's not much at all. You schedule a call and talk with a lady or getting a Zoom call or something like that. Kind of go over everything with you. So it's nothing to stress out about, but they do want you to complete that to get the benefit of getting the closing cost credit. So anyway, so that can go towards that. But yeah, I mean, we've got, we've got, and I'm not going to go crazy with all the different titles of them, but basically we've got loans
Mm-hmm.
that just purchasing a house. Told you about a first time home buyer, one of the first time home buyer programs we have. And then we also can just get, different conventional FHA, VA loans, which is for veterans, USDA, which is for more rural areas. Crispin can tell you about those more when y'all go looking at homes.
Mm-hmm.
Every address is either it has to be in a certain address in a certain area to be considered USDA. But that and VA is also a zero down product. So you have those, and then we have that's what pretty much any mortgage bank anything is going to have. So, and then it kind of goes off the deep end to so many other things we could potentially do, to HELOCs, which is home equity lines of credit, HE loans, which is it's a loan, a second loan on your house to get a type of loan. So, and you use the house as collateral, so much better interest rate
Mm.
than an unsecured loan, at a place where me and Crispin used to work.
Oh
So
yes. There's so many benefits and perks of buying a house that people just
yeah,
don't understand. You can
absolutely.
always pull that equity out, do upgrades,
Mhm.
add on to your house, increase the value of your home. So
Yeah, no, I mean, that's an asset that's just always there that, you can do a cash out, or you can do a renovation loan, or, you know, um, there's a fix, and then for investors, we have fix and flips and fix and holds. Fix and flips, where find a distressed home, want to fix it up, you get enough loan, or you get enough in the loan, you get a certain percentage to purchase the home and also to fix up
hmm
the home, and then you sell the home. That's on the flip. On the fix and hold, that is where you want to do the exact same thing, but instead of selling it, you want to rent it out or make it an Airbnb short-term rental or something like that. So
So are the rates usually higher on those particular loans?
yeah, rates will be a little bit higher. I mean, nothing crazy higher, but
hmm
it's kind of a case by case situation, what you decide to put down, credit score, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just kind of goes on a scale. And then we do commercial stuff, as we kind of talked about before. That's a whole new avenue that excited me about coming over here. Was that man? That's a major thing. People are looking into buying apartment complexes and
Yes.
hotel, all kinds of different stuff. So if there's something like some big investment you're looking to make, let me know. I mean, I've talked to some people about getting a mobile home park, just all kinds of stuff. So, um, so there's just so many things. If you have no FICO score, we can work with you there. We just look to make sure we see if you paid your power bill, your water bill, all those kind of things. Rate's going to be a little bit higher, but it's just a riskier loan, but it puts you in a house. So, uh,
Yeah.
the goal of a lot of these options isn't to necessarily have the best rate, the best this, the best that. A lot of these loans is to get you into a home for now, and then,
hmm
as you hear the cheesy expression all the time, marry the house and date the rate.
Date
So,
rate.
and that's even now in this climate right now. Don't get, it's a 30-year mortgage or whatever term you get. Don't think I would pay this interest rate. It can always change if you change it. We can always talk about it
Yeah.
if rates bottom out or something. So it's always an option. So we just evaluate your situation and make sure you see what's best for you down the road.
Yeah, because some people feel like once I buy a house, I'm locked into this investment for the next 30 years. I can't get out of it. And no, that's not the case. Like
Oh, absolutely not.
a lot of times people's first house, they usually sell it out in about 5 to 7 years. So it's just kind of like a stepping stone, like you said.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You sell that house, and there's your down payment money for your next house. So
And then some, because people are selling
mhm.
houses and are making almost 6 figures
Yeah, yeah,
just just from appreciation and property values. So
hmm, yeah, absolutely. So
it's never a bad investment.
no, it's really not. Something you can see. It's something the value always either quickly or
Yeah.
slowly goes up. So it's always mean, if you think about it, like just from a, I hate to say common sense, but just think of it from an aspect of, people are always going to be living in homes. They're either going to rent it
Yeah.
or buy it, or sleeping on
Yeah.
the couch. Which one do you want to
People
be?
always need somewhere to stay.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of things are advancing, but that's just one thing that hasn't changed, and I don't foresee changing. So yeah,
mm-mm. The
we're,
only thing that's changing are these big corporations buying up a lot of single family houses. So they're trying to force you to rent, so you can't own
mhm.
properties. So now y'all better get in because some companies are spending billions just like wholesaling and stocking up on single family homes. So just
Yep.
imagine what your home is going to be worth years from now, and you definitely don't want to be stuck in a position where you're renting all of your life because you didn't get in when you could have. And a lot of people say, like, I'm scared of the rate. Like we said, you can always refinance when rates go back down. Like, that's not even an argument anymore. Like, I don't want to hear that excuse from anybody else. Don't come to us talking about you don't want to buy right now because of the rates. No, screw that. You can refinance when the rates go back down because you don't
Yeah.
want to be put in a position where you're overpaying for a home because you were trying to play with the rate. By the
Right.
time the rate goes back down, it's going to be 30 offers on the house now. So now you're having to go up $30,000, $40,000 when you could have gotten the house at a higher rate, lower price, refinance, and been on your way.
Yeah. When you're paying 100% interest in the meantime
Mm-hmm.
on rent. So keep that in mind. I mean, if you wait a year, and let's say you spent $20,000 in rent last year. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
that number, if not more. Um, that's $20,000 that you'll never see again. In a
You'll
house,
never get back.
yeah, and in a house you can get it back. You can get a HELOC. You can do a
Mm-hmm.
cash out refi. You can sell the home. I mean, there's a lot. If you ever need to borrow money, you can borrow money and use that as
Mm-hmm.
an asset and get a much lower rate, on something. So, um, and I'm not just saying this because I did it myself. I mean, I bought my first house in 2018. And, well, I say first, my first and only house. I'm still here for now. And
It's the first for speaking into existence. You're going to get another one.
oh yeah, no, that's gonna happen for sure. I got married a while back, so this house is already getting too small. But that rate back then was like in the mid or upper fours, I think. I don't know. I was
Mm-hmm.
a home buyer. I wasn't in mortgage at the time. I had no idea what was going on. I just said, well, cool, I can afford that a month. I mean, that was me.
Right. Let me see what I
Um,
can get.
so then 2020 happened, and I know it came with a lot of bad, but came with some good too. I mean, you saw rates.
Mm-hmm.
So with the rates, I went down like 2 points on my rate and got like an upper 2% rate now. My mortgage payment went down 200 a month, and I'm in a 2-bedroom townhome, so that's actually a lot for this. So
Yeah.
because my home ain't worth all that much, but like that was within 2 years, so it ain't like I was.
Right.
So yeah, there's always options to change things later.
Absolutely. Most definitely. I think we've answered everybody's questions. And if we haven't, if you joined late, you can always catch the replay. It'll be on your favorite podcasting streaming service. And I'll put both me, well, y'all have my contact information, but I'll tag Justin so you guys can contact him directly if you have questions. If you are a potential buyer, if you're thinking about getting into mortgages and you think this may be the business for you, he's really cool. He won't mind you guys contacting him. Just don't do it at 2 a.m. like we talked about.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, that's all I got. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and just want to let anybody know, just to piggyback on what she said, if you're looking to buy a home, if you're just wondering, do I qualify for a home?
Mm-hmm.
Don't wonder, Google it, please. Just ask me, because Google's going to tell you need 20% down and
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, 90% of
Let's
my
talk
business.
about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that because I think that's one of the biggest myths that
Hmm.
we hear when it comes to buying a house. I need a large lump sum for a down payment. Can you kind of talk us through the different down payments or the options for no down payment?
Yeah, I mean, so the 20% became that you need that as a myth, because I mean, there's perks to paying 20% down. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the biggest thing really, and I don't want to say only thing, but the biggest thing is no PMI. So PMI is your mortgage insurance for any lender under 20% down payment has mortgage insurance. You pay monthly. It can be a lot or it can be very little, but once you pay off 20% of the home, that drops off and your mortgage will decrease automatically if you don't put that 20% down on the front end. So keep that in mind. But you definitely don't need 20% for a primary residence. I mean that. So like we were talking about, there's 3% options. FHA loans, which is Federal Housing Administration, that's a 3.5% loan. And when I'm saying these percentages, you take that percentage of the sale price. So if it's 3% and the sale price is 200, so you would say 3% of 200,000 or something. So and with other conventional loans, that a minimum of 5% if it's not your first time home buying or first time buying a home. And then zero down options we have, like we talked about, VA. So if you're a veteran, that's one of the best loans out there. But of course, you do need to be a veteran and have eligibility. So that's one option. USDA is another option. If you're in a rural area, Crispin can help you, let you know what addresses are and are not USDA qualified. So that's an option. And then we have DPA programs, DPA meaning down payment assistance, that you don't have to have any of the above. So if you come into, I have several wholesale lenders that I work with for you that, if your credit score only needs to be a 600 or above, and there's no income limit on them, meaning you don't.
So you can make anything and still qualify for these?
So a lot of there's some DPA down payment assistance loans that do have income limits and some that don't. We definitely have some that don't as well. And income limits meaning there's certain down payment assistance programs that if you make too much money, you don't qualify because it's meant for lower income individuals. But we also have products that don't have an income limit. So
that's great.
So yeah. So and then you may be naturally thinking, okay, was there a catch to it? Well, not really. I mean, so no surprise. I mean, rates, you're not going to get a prime interest rate. Rate's going to be maybe a 0.5% higher or 0.75% higher. I mean, it's just kind of according. There's not a set number, but it will be a little bit higher. It's not going to be anything astronomical whatsoever. And closing costs may be a little bit more as well, but Crispin can definitely work that out with you of getting the seller to pay for your closing cost in this market.
Especially in this market.
Yeah. So, with the rates, going high, although they are coming back down.
They're coming on down.
Yeah. No, I locked someone in the other Friday at an upper 5% interest rate, FHA loan.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, no, the market always does this. So don't freak out when it hits a valley or anything.
A low point. Yeah. But it's good to shop in this market though, because like you said, you can get sellers to pay some of your closing costs. So that's another concern for you. Having that closing cost money, start shopping now. Contact him, try to get it on one of those down payment assistance programs. And like in this market, if the house has been sent for a while, the sellers are ready to let it go. So they're going to pay some closing costs for you more than likely. And if not, we'll move on to the house that does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's with the market slowing down like it has called, 1 and 2 years ago, you had to pay all your closing costs and
then some.
Now back to where it was before, where you kind of, you negotiate to have the seller pay for your closing costs. So that's a great thing too that can happen to where you don't have the closing costs. And even on down payment assistance programs where the loan may cost, the closing costs may be a little bit more, but if your seller's paying for it, who cares? So so you don't have to worry about it. So
yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, there's definitely been times where I've had people bring no money to the closing table. So
I've had people get money back.
yep,
So
I've
it
had
happened.
that too. They get their deposit back. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's definitely possible. So but yeah, no, I'm happy to help you with answer any questions on purchases, refis, commercial deals, construction, land.
Investment properties.
Invest.
I know a lot
Yeah,
of people are
absolutely.
trying to get investments.
Yeah, I've been speaking
So
to some investors recently from LA. So a lot of people are looking to
mhm,
see Birmingham as a hot spot, which it is for
it is.
it's a much cheaper than if you ever feel like prices are high here, just get on
Just
Zillow
go
and
to
look
get
here.
on and I'll go to LA and look at a shack and it'll be
Yeah,
$1 million.
yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, I'm here to answer any of those questions. And if you're a current loan officer or licensed or thinking about getting licensed, my goal in the next few years is to have a good team, a big team, and to be more of that teacher and not a manager because no one's managing.
Mm-hmm.
You're managing yourself, but to be more of a just kind of a cheerleader for you and grow the team.
Yeah.
So
Same here. If you're looking into getting licensed or getting to the real estate industry, I'm here to help. I have a mentee. She's hit the ground running. So we're excited. I mean, I love what I do, and I'm the person like everybody I come in contact with. I'm like, you should get your real estate license.
yeah,
I promise I do because I just enjoy it so much. I really do love
yeah,
what I do, and I'm so grateful
yeah,
that
no,
God allows me to
absolutely,
do this. So,
for sure. And it's not something I know real estate you don't have to, and here you eventually want to do it full time, probably, but day one you don't have to. So don't feel like, man, I got to quit my job. I got to,
yeah, you don't. You can start off part time with
yeah,
both.
yeah, for sure. But and get to that point where you're comfortable to make the leap, so to speak, to do it because it's commission only. But once you get the pipeline kind of going, you feel a lot more confident. And
Mm-hmm.
it's flowing. So don't be scared either way. Just talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about finding good mentors. I think that's how I flourish in my business by just having good mentors, good leadership. So, I mean, you have to have people that are willing to help you in this business, that they don't mind, teaching you the ropes and things like that. And I know Justin, he'll be more than happy to help you guys if you're interested in, maybe switching companies or getting into the business altogether. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been fun.
Yeah. Thanks for having me once again.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience before you leave? How can they get in contact with you?
So best contact would probably be to text or call me at 334-791-9945. Also you can email me at jholloway at nexamortgage.com. So, or you can, you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
at Mortgage Guy Justin. Yeah. So,
And Mortgage Guy Justin. So make sure y'all follow him. He has some great content.
try to make this crazy business fun.
We have to because it's something different every day. But our goal is to help as many people as we can get into homes in the new year. So if that is on your goal list for 2023, you should start talking to us like now, like today, tonight, tomorrow, because we want to help you get into a new home in the new year. I mean, what's can you imagine starting a new home in the new year in a new house? Like
your house, you host the New Year's party. I mean, what better housewarming party than to do it on New Year's?
Exactly. And you have time.
Yeah. No, I can still close loans by the end of the year. I can probably squeeze in close loans before Christmas if you hurry up.
So, who wants to be in a new house for Christmas, baby? Yeah. Come
on. Santa Claus is here. I'm trying to get a house yet, so,
right. You get a house.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, but seriously, I mean, we can make it happen. I've got a very supportive team behind me that you know, that makes it happen. So I feel like I'm in a sports interview right now. I got to thank my coach and my this, but I really do have an awesome team that I couldn't do what I do without my processors and my managers for the wholesale side. You know, but anyway, so everyone's focused on one goal, and that's to put you in a home. So
absolutely, and you want to work with people that make it easy, because I've worked with some lenders and it's been nightmares. But I can say with you, I've never had a problem. You've always got my people to the closing table. They love you.
Yeah.
And he gets the job done, you guys. So y'all will be in great hands.
Yep. And Crispin does too, no surprise. So all my clients have loved her since she is the best in Birmingham. Everywhere,
the best. Yes. Y'all heard from the best.
The best everywhere she's at.
Hey, well, definitely contact us, and we'll be happy to get you in a new home. Thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate the questions. See you guys next week.
See y'all.